Hey, good morning, Sweet Peas. Basic Prepper Mom Myra here, and I want to take this opportunity to take a few minutes and talk about technology, specifically the internet. And I know a lot of people are very excited of the thought of technology going down, not having technology, everything going dark. This is great. Yeah, we're ready for this. Well, are you really ready for it? I think you'd be surprised, actually. So there are so many things that we do with the internet, right? We have our phones, our handheld devices, and we rely heavily on them. Everything from recipes to directions to maps to looking stuff up, researching. There's so much that we do. And sometimes we don't even think about it. We just automatically go to our phone, we type it in, we get the information. So we're not even really conscious of what we're doing and how often we're using our phones or technology in the internet. So I want to take this time to say, live a little like you don't have internet. Now, what I mean by that is build up your library. We've talked about your education or the educational aspect of being able to get teaching books and curriculum and stuff like that, workbooks and stuff for your children, and also more grades than just what they're currently in. So you can kind of future grades and build up that library just in case things go down. We ended up with another lockdown, something happens with schools, whatever the situation. We've also talked about building up that library for like home study skills and stuff like that, which absolutely 100% you should be doing. But have you thought about each vehicle that you have right now? And do you know some basic repairs on it without going to the internet? Now, I'm going to say probably most people do not. So what do? Well, each make and model of vehicle has a manual, a repair manual that goes with it. Now, if you can't purchase it or buy it, which I suggest having hard copies, you could probably get it in an ebook version and invest in a really, really great printer that does high capacity printing and start printing off those ebooks. Okay. Same thing with anything resource related, anything homesteady, you can do that. Recipes, heavy equipment, anything that you have, home repairs, basic home repairs. Look around and be very aware of every time you get on the internet. So whatever the situation, every time you log on to the internet, whether it's to look something up, whether it's to see where you're at, whatever, make a mental note or write down, okay, looked up a recipe for venison today, looked up how to replace a fuel filter, looked up whatever it is, kind of make that mental note, okay? And at the end of the week, I want you to look back at your list and go, oh, I guess I'm more reliant on the internet than I thought. Now, one of the really great things about having ebooks and stuff like that and printers currently is that you have such a huge resource to so many things. So I actually did this before, well, I don't want to say before the internet because that's how I got the recipes, but before we had smartphones and stuff like that, is I would find a recipe on the internet and I would print it off. And then I would glue it onto cardstock, thick cardstock, and I would laminate it. And I actually still have it to this day. I still have a binder of recipes. You can do that for your automotive repair. You don't have to go into full detail on how to rebuild a carb or rebuild an engine. Do your basic automotive stuff that maybe, you know, replacing hoses, replacing fuses, stuff like that, kind of basic, but have a manual or a binder for each individual vehicle you have or piece of equipment. Piece of equipment could also be generators. I just totally lost it, but different types of small equipment, lawnmowers, weed eaters, stuff like that. You can have a binder for each piece of equipment that you have. Now, the other thing that is very handy to have is maps. Now, it's really easy nowadays to GPS something and to put the location in and you just go there. But do you have a map of your area, an actual map? You need to have a map of your area. You need to have a couple of atlases or maps of the United States. You need to have, if you have a bug out location, have a map of your bug out location, like how to get there, but also the area once you get there. Keep that in each vehicle. Put just a little red dot of your bug out location and put it in each vehicle. That way, if something does happen, everyone has a map to get there. Now, for those of you who have kids that are driving age, what I would do is give your kids a map write down an address and give them a map and tell them to find that address, find that street, find that store, whatever. Make sure it's somewhere that they don't really know where it is. So like a friend's address that they've never been there before, not really familiar with the roads, but give them a map. Tell them once they get there to call you, and you can say, okay, what landmark do you see? What do you see around you? And then you know that they've gotten there, right? There needs to be a local map and a US map in each vehicle that you have, along with your bug out map if you have a bug out location. And you need to start living like there's no internet, living like there's no computer. So start doing things that allow you to use hard copies. Okay, hugely important. So it's not just homeschooling. It's not just homesteading. There's so many aspects. Keep track of what you look up on the internet. And whatever you look up, try to find a hard copy version of that. Make your own binders, print stuff out now. Buy something. Amazon's great. There's a lot of used bookstores online that you can order from. We have a couple of bookstores, used bookstores in town. Start perusing thrift stores, used bookstores for anything that they might have in there to add to your library. But you definitely need to start stocking up on hard copies for your library. So that is my spiel for today about the internet. If you have any questions or comments. Oh, the last thing I want to say is if everything goes down, make sure that you have a meet location for your family and loved ones. Make sure that they know if things go down and we don't have a way to get a hold of you. What if you can't communicate with your family? You need to have a meet location. Okay, if everything goes down, and if it stays down for more than an hour, whatever you set for your family, this is the location that everyone meets at. Make sure that they know that location. Make sure that they have maps in their vehicle that has that location on it. Okay. Even though you may think they know how to get there, when things get crazy and they have to maybe take a back road that they're not familiar with, and they're like, okay, now where do I go? Because they can't get through the main roads because it's crazy. Make sure they have a map in there so that they can pull out that map and go, okay, well, I can't go this way, but I can get to it here. Make sure your bug out location does have several ways to get to that general area, not to your specific location, but make sure that there are a couple of different areas that if this is bogged up, they can actually go around this way and still be able to access, or even close to access, your bug out location. Okay. So that is my spiel for today. Any questions or comments that you have, please feel free to mention or ask me, and I will try to help you out with that. Like I said, if you need any help, let me know. Hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day, and we'll talk to you soon.